Hi, my name is Hari Binti Sabi and my matching number is 01DIB21F2010. The question is, Bank Islam Berhad has approved a Murabahah shop of financing to Jalita Sendirian Berhad in February 2023 for 500,000 with monthly repayment of 3,700. However, due to the economic condition, the company is facing financial problems. The company could not make monthly repayment of its Murabahah shop of financing to Bank Islam Berhad since January 2024. So, what is the purpose, the necessary recovery process and legal action for her case? The credit recovery process is a structure approved that banks and financial institutions use to recover outstanding debt from borrowers who have defaulted on their loan or credit obligation. This process involves several stages, from identifying delinquent accounts to taking legal action if necessary. The main goal is to reclaim as much of the owed amount as possible while managing the relationship with the borrower and ensuring compliance with the regulation requirement. When the repayment default, bank will normally give the customer the opportunity to find way to settle the overdue. Reasonable deadline is given to customer to pay off the overdue repayment. If the customer ignores the grace period, the financing would deteriorate. Bank can will resort to legal action in order to collect back its money. So, there are the necessary recovery process that can be in place based on the case. First credit recovery process is cooperative workout management. Cooperative workout management in the credit recovery process involve collaborative effort between the creditors, such as the bank and the borrower, to develop mutually acceptable solution for resolving outstanding debt. Is an early stage of loan recovery involve the negotiation between both parties without resorting to the legal action. The agreement is implemented upon the corrective measure agreed by both parties. This approach focuses on negotiation, flexibility, and support to help the borrower meet their obligation without resorting to more severe measures like litigation or asset seizure. AKPK, which is Agency Counseling and Pengurusan Kredit, is to help individuals to take control of their financial situation and gain peace of mind that come from the wise use of credit. Initially, the bank may reach out to the company to understand the reason behind the missed payment and to explore potential solutions. This could involve renegotiating and repayment term, extending the repayment period, or even providing a temporary payment holiday. Bank must effectively use communication and negotiation strategy to manage and recover outstanding debt while maintaining customer relationship and adhering to regulatory requirements. In communication strategy, bank must make early intervention, which is contact the borrower early when signs of financial distress appear to discuss possible solutions before the situation worsens and keep borrower informed about their account status, options available, and any changes in policy or term. In negotiation strategy, bank can customize repayment plan to customer by offer various repayment options such as extended payment term, reduced interest rate, or temporary payment deferral. Negotiate debt restructuring agreement may include consolidating loans or adjusting the payment schedule. The next one is collateral liquidation. Collateral liquidation is a process of converting all pledged security to the bank into cash to repay the loan balance, including the interest due. When a borrower defaults on a loan by failing to make timely payment, the lender typically sends notice and demand for repayment. If the borrower continues to the default, the lender may declare the loan in default and initiate the credit recovery process. Before proceeding with the collateral liquidation, the lender assesses the value of the collateral to determine its market worth. This may involve valuation by a professional to ensure an accurate valuation. Once the collateral is seized, the lender proceeds to liquidate it, typically through a sale process. The goal is to convert the collateral into cash to recover the outstanding debt owed by the borrower. In summary, Collateral liquidation is essential for a lender to recover funds, mitigate risk, enforce contractual obligation, and maintain financial stability. It serves as a critical component of the credit recovery process, ensuring fairness, efficiency, and compliance with the legal and regulatory standards. Effectively managing default situation through collateral liquidation help preserve the lender reputation and creditworthiness. By demonstrating a proactive approach to resolving the default loan, lender can maintain investor confidence, regulatory compliance, and market credibility.
My name is Indra Nabila binti Muhammad Nizam. My metric number is 01DIB21F2019. Next is bankruptcy, when Jelita Sdn Bhd faces severe financial difficulties that render it unable to meet its monthly Murabaha Syauha financing repayments to Bank Islam Berhad. Filing for bankruptcy under Malaysian law may become necessary. This step marks the formal recognition of the company's financial distress and initiates a legal process to address the situation. Upon filing for bankruptcy, Jelita Sdn Bhd must promptly notify Bank Islam Berhad, providing detailed information about its financial condition and the reason for its inability to continue repayment. The bank then undertakes a thorough and comprehensive assessment of Jelita Sdn Bhd financial status. This includes evaluating all assets, liabilities, income streams, and expenses alongside gathering and meticulously reviewing all relevant documentation related to the Murabaha financing agreement. This initial assessment is crucial for understanding the depth of the financial distress and preparing for subsequent steps in the recovery process. A bankruptcy trustee, also known as an official reserver, will be appointed to manage the bankruptcy process. This trustee plays a vital role in overseeing the liquidation of assets and the distribution of the proceeds to creditor. The trustee ensures that the process is conducted in an orderly and lawful manner, providing a structured approach to resolving the financial issues faced by Jelita Sdn Bhd. The trustee will conduct a true valuation of all the company's assets, including the finance shophouse. This valuation must be fair and aligned with market values to ensure the liquidation process is just and transparent. Following this, the asset will be sold and the proceeds distributed among creditors according to the priorities established by Malaysian bankruptcy law. As a secure creditor, Bank Islam Berhad typically has a priority claim on the proceeds from the sale of the finance shophouse, ensuring the bank recovers as much of the outstanding debt as possible. The proceeds from the asset liquidation are used to settle the outstanding Murabaha debt. If these proceeds are insufficient to cover the full amount owed, Bank Islam Berhad may have to consider writing off the remaining balance. This potential write-off should be done in accordance with Sharia principle, which is emphasize fairness and the avoidance of undue hardship on the debtor. Alternatively, the bank and the Jelita Sdn Bhd might negotiate a partial settlement where the bank accepts a portion of the debt as full settlement, considering the financial condition of the company. Throughout the bankruptcy process, it is imperative for Bank Islam Berhad to ensure all actions are compliant with Sharia principles. Continuous consultation with the bank's Sharia Advisory Board is essential to verify that each step from asset liquidation to debt settlement adheres to Islamic finance guidelines. Ethical considerations such as conducting the asset sales fairly and transparently must be prioritized to maintain the integrity of Islamic financial practices. Once the bankruptcy process is complete, Bank Islam Berhad should properly document and report all action taken to relevant stakeholders, including regulatory bodies. This documentation ensures transparency and accountability. Additionally, the bank can assist Jelita Sdn Bhd in understanding the steps necessary for credit rehabilitation post-bankruptcy. Providing financial counseling and guidance can help the company rebuild its financial standing and avoid similar issues in the future. Ensuring strict adherence to Malaysian bankruptcy laws and regulation is crucial throughout the recovery process. Regular audits should be conducted to confirm compliance with both local legal requirements and Sharia principles. This diligence not only protects the interests of the bank but also upholds the ethical standards expected in Islamic finance. By following this comprehensive recovery process, Bank Islam Sdn Bhd can effectively manage the bankruptcy of Jelita Sdn Bhd. This approach ensures that the bank recovers its dues while treating the debtor fairly and ethically in line with Islamic financial principles. The structured process helps to achieve a just resolution, maintaining the integrity and credibility of both parties involved and demonstrating a commitment to ethical and fair financial practices even in challenging circumstances. Last but not least is enforcement of judgment. When Bank Islam Berhad undertakes the enforcement of a court judgment against Jelita Sdn Bhd for defaulting on its Murabahah Syauhah financing, a comprehensive recovery process is set in motion. Initially, legal action is initiated through the filing of a lawsuit seeking a court judgment to confirm the debt owed by Jelita. This legal recourse is crucial in establishing the legal obligation of the debtor to repay the outstanding amount. Following the issuance of the court judgment, Bank Islam Berhad conducts an exhaustive assessment of Jelita's financial position. This entails a meticulous review of the company's assets, liabilities, cash flow, and overall financial health. By delving into these financial intricacies, the bank gains invaluable insights into Jelita's capacity to repay the debt and identify potential assets that can be seized or liquidated to satisfy the judgment. With the court judgment secure and a clear understanding of Jelita's financial landscape, Bank Islam Berhad proceeds with the execution of the judgment. This involves obtaining various legal orders such as a writ of seizure and sale, which empower the bank to seize and liquidate the debtor's assets. Additionally, garnishment orders may be sought to intercept funds from Jelita's bank accounts or other income sources. This legal mechanism provides the bank with the necessary tools to enforce its rights and recover the outstanding debt effectively. Once the legal orders are obtained, Bank Islam initiates the process of seizing and liquidating the Jelita's asset. This asset may encompass a wide range of properties, including real estate, equipment, inventory, or other valuable assets. It is imperative to ensure that the asset liquidation process is conducted fairly, transparently, and in accordance with Sharia principles. This entails obtaining independent valuation of the seized assets to determine their fair market value and organizing public auctions or private sales to maximize returns. The proceeds generated from the sale of the seized asset are then utilized to repay the outstanding debt owed by the Jelita to Bank Islam. As a secure creditor, the bank has a priority claim to these proceeds. However, in scenarios where the proceeds fall short of the total debt amount, Bank Islam may need to explore alternative options, such as negotiating a partial settlement with the debtor. These negotiations are guided by Sharia compliance and ethical consideration, ensuring fairness and justice in the resolution of the debt. Post-enforcement, Bank Islam diligently documents all action taken and the proceeds received from the asset liquidation process. This documentation serves to uphold transparency and accountability throughout the recovery process. Moreover, the bank reports the outcomes of the recovery process to relevant stakeholders and regulatory authorities to demonstrating its commitment to transparency and regulatory compliance. Additionally, Bank Islam may offer financial counseling and support to Jelita to assist the company in improving its financial management practices and preventing future defaults. By providing valuable guidance and assistance, the bank endeavors to facilitate Jelita's financial rehabilitation and promote sustainable financial health. Throughout the enforcement process, Bank Islam remains steadfast in its adherence to Malaysian legal requirements for judgment enforcement. Regular audits are conducted to verify compliance with both local legal standards and Sharia principles. Upholding high ethical standards is paramount, emphasizing fairness, transparency, and justice in all recovery actions. In essence, the recovery process in the enforcement of judgment for murabaha financing entails a meticulous and comprehensive approach aimed at safeguarding the interests of Bank Islam while upholding the principles of Islamic finance. By meticulously following this structured recovery process, the bank can effectively enforce its right and recover the outstanding debt owed, thereby maintaining the integrity and credibility of Islamic finance.
When a company is unable to make its monthly repayment, banks or other creditors may resort to legal action to recover the outstanding debt. The first step of legal action is assessment and initial step. The internal review is a crucial first step in the legal action process and aims to evaluating the company histories and current situation regarding the dispute. There is a payment records which is examine all the past payments made by the company and noting any missed or late payments. Second is communication. Review all the correspondence between the bank and the company regarding the debt. This includes emails, letters, phone call logs, and meeting notes. Next is negotiation attempts. Which is assess any effort made to resolve the issue outside of court, such as negotiation sessions, alternative repayment plans, or restructuring offers. The internal review helps to build a detailed case history that support the bank's position and prepare it for the potential legal action. Next is documentation. A proper documentation is essential to create a solid foundation for the legal process. It ensures that all actions taken and communication made are accurately recorded and can be presented as evidence in court. There were accurate record keeping, which is maintain the precise and up-to-date records of all interaction and transaction related to the dispute. This includes attempt at resolution, which is record all the attempts made to resolve the issue, such as notes from the negotiation meetings, mediation sessions, or offer alternative repayment plans. Next is agreement. Keep all the signed copies of all agreement, contract, and any amendment to these documents. Last one is payment record. They are maintained detailed records of all payment as received and includes date, amount, and methods of payment. The second legal action is final demand notice, which is issuance of final demand. It is a notice that formal communication sent to the company as a last attempt to resolve the debt issue before the initiating legal action. The content of the demand letter is amount owed, which is clearly state the total amount of the debt, including the principal and any accurate interest or late fees. The second one is breakdown of charges, which is provide a detailed breakdown of the debt and showing how the total amount was calculated. This includes the original loan amount, interest rate, and any penalties for the late payment and any fees incurred. The last one is payment deadline. It is a specify a precise deadline by which is the debt must be paid. This is typically within a short but reasonable time frame to convey the agency. Example, 14 to 30 days from the date of the letter. Another final demand notice is response period, which is the time frame given to the company to address the final demand notice, either by making the payment or by communicating their intention regarding to the debt. For the response period, there were a reasonable period, which is the ranges from 14 to 30 days. This time frame is considered reasonable to allow the company to arrange the payment or to negotiate and the alternative resolution. In 14 days, which is a shorter period that convey a urgency and seriousness, often used when the previous communication have been ignored or when the debt is significantly overdue. In 30 days, which is the longer period that provides the more time for the company to secure the fund or engage in discussion about the repayment plans, particularly if the debt amount is substantial. Lastly, filing a lawsuit. Lawsuit is a legal consultation which is a critical step to ensure that the bank case is strong and legally sound and compliant with the relevant regulation and procedures. There were a case evaluation and legal strategy. The case evaluation is the legal counsel will assess the strength of the case and considering the factors such as the clarity of the loan agreement and the completeness of the repayment records and the company's response to the final demand notice. Second one is legal strategy. Legal strategy is to develop a litigation plan outlining the steps to be taken and the timeline and resources are required. This includes identifying the key witness, preparing for discovery, and planning for the potential settlement discussion. The last one is initiate legal proceedings. It is a formally commence the legal action by filing a lawsuit against the company in the appropriate court. There were supporting documents. The legal proceedings are loan agreement. It is a copy of the original loan agreement to establish the contractual relationship. The second one is repayment records. It is to provide a detailed records of all payments made and missed payments and accurate interest. The last one is final demand notice. It is attach a copy of the final demand notice that was sent to the company and demonstrating that the bank attempted to resolve the issues before the resorting to litigation.
Hi, my name is Akita Chandramogan with the matrix number of 01DIB21F2030. Next is code process. There are 6 code process. First is filing the complaint. The legal process begins with the court issue a complaint to the defendant company. The summon is a document notifying the company that a lawsuit has been filed against it. The complaint outlines the plaintiff allegation and the relief sought. The second is response from the defendant. The defendant responds to the allegation within a specific period. The defendant may file under claims against the plaintiff. Third process is discovery. Both parties exchange irrelevant information and evidence. Witnesses are questioned under oath and written question answer under oath. Request for documents and other evidence and request to admit the certain facts. The fourth is pre-trial motion. Request to dismiss the case for legal and procedural reason and request to decide the case based on the fact without a trial. The fifth process is settlement negotiation. Attempt to resolve the dispute without a trial. Lastly is enforcement of judgment. Step to collect the judgment if not voluntarily comply with additional motive to enforce or challenge the judgment. Next is trial. As for the case opening statement provide each side with the opportunity to outline their case to the judge. This is not the time to present evidence, but to give a roadmap of what each party intend to prove. The plaintiff goes first, describing the fact they plan to establish and how they will do so. The defense follow, offering their perspective on the case and previewing the evidence and arguments they will present. As for the presenting evidence, the plaintiff presents their evidence first. They call witness to testify and introduce document, photographs and other physical evidence. The defense has opportunity to question each witness called by the plaintiff to challenge their testimony and credibility. If necessary, the plaintiff can present rebuttal evidence to counter the defense case, and the defense may present rebuttal evidence in response. Next is final speech. The final speech allows each side to summarize the evidence and make their final appeal to the judge. Plaintiff will summarize the evidence presented, highlighting how it supports their claim and why the judge should decide in their favor. They review the evidence from the present perspective, pointing out the weaknesses in plaintiff's case and reinforcing their own argument. Lastly is judgment. In jury trial, the jury retires to the room and discuss the case and reach out a decision. The jury must consider the evidence and apply the judge instruction on the law. The judge will render a decision. Lastly is post-judgment action. The first is appeal for higher court. The loser party can file a notice of appeal to a higher court if they believe there were legal error in a trial. This must be filed within a specific time frame. Or the appeal court review the case and the issue its decision, which can be affirmed, reversed, modified, or remand the case back to the lower court. Secondly, post-judgment motions. A request for a new trial due to significant error or new evidence that could affect the outcome of the case. Next is enforcement of judgment. The losing party complies with the judgment and pays the amount owed or perform the requirement action. As for the negotiation, after a judgment, the party can negotiate a settlement to resolve the matter, especially if enforcement is difficult or costly. Moreover, is supplementary proceeding. The creditor can request a court order examination of the debtor's asset to identify satisfying the judgment. Lastly is modification of judgment. The parties agree to modify the judgment terms under court supervision, or both parties agree to change in the judgment without further litigation.
So, in conclusion, throughout this process, it's important for the company to seek professional advice, such as from legal or financial advisors, to understand its right and obligation and to explore all available options for resolving the financial difficulties. Open communication with the bank is also a key to finding a mutual acceptable solution. By considering these additional points, the company and the bank can work towards finding a resolution that minimizes financial losses and preserve their respective interests. Open communication, willingness to negotiate, and seeking professional advice are essential throughout the recovery process. That's all from us. Thank you.